Well, hello everyone. This is Lawrence making another video, getting one more in before Thanksgiving tomorrow. Wonderful holiday. We spend time with family and friends, enjoying each other's company and fine food and all that. Okay. I posted a video earlier today for the Elton John and the Eltonites Facebook page, so I hope you get a chance to watch that. This is a thrift store compact music disc find, and what I usually do is I have a backlog of CDs, thrift store compact music CDs, and I gradually pull them out, make videos, show them off, and put them in the main library. But this time, I'm showing off what I got in one shopping spree the other day, okay? And some of these CDs will probably appear in future videos, but I'm changing the format a little bit. So this is one shopping spree that I got all these CDs. And I'm going to try to keep this like under 12 minutes. The first one is the reissue of Elton John's Blue Moves, his 1976 double album, second double album. And when it was first issued on CD, they left out, to fit it on one disc, they left out 3 tracks and some good tracks too, and just really, shortchanged the album. And then in the late 90s, it was reissued, put on 2 discs with the restored tracks, digital makeover, and I found that copy at the thrift store the other day. I always wanted it. And the sonic makeover is amazing. The highs are really nice and sharp, and the lows are very solid at the bottom. So Elton John Blue Moves. I grew up in the 70s, and I listened to rock radio, album-oriented radio, and top 40 radio. And one person who had a lot of hits for that time on AM radio was Helen Reddy, right here, right here. And she had 3 #1 hits along with other top 40 hits as well. And this is the Helen Reddy I Am Woman, the definitive collection. And what's so interesting, the booklet inside for each song, she briefly describes the song, each song, how it came about, how she feels about it, and other little stories. And Helen Reddy I love her vocals. She just had that, I don't know how to describe it. Her and Anne Murray, they were like bookmarks, they came along the same era, and they had similar singing style. There she is. Helen Reddy, once she retired from music, I think she went back to Australia, and she gave all her money to charity, except she kept enough to live modestly comfortable the rest of her life. She passed away about 3 years ago. A wonderful lady, great voice, great talent. Another person also, and I think this person eventually moved to Australia, but he had a lot of hits in the 70s. Leo Sayer, he was a mainstay on AM radio, hit radio. And this is a collection of all his best song, greatest hits put out by Rhino Records. And of course, The Show Must Go On. Long Tall Glasses was his first big hit. And You Make Me Feel Like Dancing, When I Need You. He wrote most of these songs, but he didn't write When I Need You. That was written by Carol Bayer Seeger and Albert Hammond. 2 noted songwriters. And Raining in My Heart, and they say Can't Stop Loving You. How Much Love was also a big hit. So Leo Sayer there. I got two CDs from this artist here, and we all know who he is. James Taylor. James Taylor, you know, who emerged in the early 70s. And this was a mid-70s period that brought him back on the album chart, JT. And it had his original Your Smiling Face and a remake of, what was the remake? Handyman, okay? And he turned it into kind of a ballady where it was, you know, for, I'm your handyman, but it slowed it down. Another song on here, Bartender Blues, which was a country flavored song. He did it with, recorded it later with George Jones. And then a live album he did, came out in 2007, One Man Band. And what's so cool about this, it has a bonus DVD of the show, so I'm looking forward to watching that. Okay, put those down, and we're going to go through more of the list here. If you were around the 80s, you heard of these guys. Huey Lewis and the News. This is a greatest hits package, 1 CD. And they had great radio hits back in the day. I don't need to really talk too much about Huey Lewis because you all know who he is. Some of the artists who were very big in the late 70s, 80s, into the 90s are still around, and they're still making great music, but their more recent stuff doesn't get played on radio. They just interested in classic stuff. So this is an album that the Pretenders did. The print is so small. 2016, or it could be 18. The print's so small. And this is the Pretenders CD called Alone, produced by Dan Urbeck of the Black Keys. He has produced a lot of great stuff, but he produced this album as well, and I listened to it, and a lot of the stuff sounds as good as the old Pretenders material. Going into folk music, and this artist crossed over from folk to popular to jazz, and we're talking about Joni Mitchell. I got a lot of Joni Mitchell CDs and albums, but I didn't have these two. I got this on album. I take that back. Lady of the Canyon. Now I have it on CD. And this is noted for having the song Woodstock. This is also noted for being considered one of her best albums. And Miles of Isles. Okay. We're rolling along here. Putumayo, I'm spelling it because I always butcher this name, is a record company that is a label that specializes in world music. And sometimes a lot of their, most of their CDs, they take a theme like New Orleans jazz or salsa music, or Caribbean reggae, even Arabic, and put a collection together in those forums. And then sometimes they'll take an artist and put their work together in one CD, as the case for Lori Love. I never heard of her, you know, and very cool artwork. Their artwork is in this style, okay? And I listened to on Spotify when I come across the CD. I love her voice. I got this home. This is fantastic. So you should go and look up some of her music, perhaps the CD, and give it a listen. Okay, we're going to close out here. Love country music. So I got Dwight Yoakam. When he switched labels, this was the first album he put out on the, what's the label? The New West label. Called Blame the Vein, okay? And this got very highly remarks in All Music Review. What I like about Yoakum is he's purely country, but he has a lot of rock and roll drive into his country music, and he can be like slow honky tonk to just driving rock and roll country music. He has a lot of CDs out, a lot of great music. He writes most of his own stuff, so as he did with this one. A country supergroup. These are veterans from a later day, but the Highwaymen, Johnny Cash, Chris Christopherson, Willie Nelson, and Waylon Jennings. Their first album, and this is like the third album here. The Road Goes On Forever, and this one is an anniversary edition that includes a DVD. So looking forward to watching that. Okay, close it out here. We're going into some jazz and blues, jazz vocals. Sarah Vaughan. This is part of the Ken Burns documentary, Jazz, and they put out a box set from that series that traces the history of jazz from the early New Orleans, Caribbean beginning to what it became. And then they selected certain artists from that box set and put out a definitive collection. And I've been collecting those as well. I've got stuff like Count Basie, Benny Goodman, Billie Holiday. I just heard a noise. Dave Brubeck, now Sarah Vaughan, and some more as well. Close it out. There's a record company or a label called St. Clair that specializes in old music, especially music that's in the public domain. And these two CDs, each one has two CDs each. A blues anthology, Volume 1 and Volume 2. And they got well-known names and more unknown names. So you got the Buddy Guy, Jimmy Reed, Sonny Boy Williams, Ike Turner, Albert Collins. All the names who are well known in the field of blues, but some unknown names as well, more unfamiliar. U.S. Wilson and Paul Altra. Brian Knight and Tob Sharpville, Homesick James. So you got the idea. And sometimes these collections are the best. One more I want to show you, and we'll finish it off. I already have this box set. I brought it back in the day when it came out, and that's how I got familiar with Robert Johnson. And so I saw the box set again for $3, and I'm going to give this to my friend who has been instrumental in helping me obtain a good high quality stereo system I got and setting it up and turning me on to a lot of new artists. And he has a Robert Johnson CD, but it's only one CD. This gets him the entire box set. This came out in 1989. It really rose the profile of Robert Johnson, who was pretty much unknown to a lot of people except the blues world. And I think this won a Grammy for best reissue of music, historical reissue, and it also sold 500,000 copies, which is really good for a kind of forgotten about blues blues artist who been dead since 1938. So those are my finds there. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment. Please consider joining my YouTube page. And again, be safe and be happy this Thanksgiving holiday. And thank you again for watching. Bye-bye.